This is a true crime story, 100% factual. With her permission, I'm tagging the victim below, so please be kind with your words. It's Friday, August 31st, 1979 in Flower Bluff, Texas. It's a big day for 10-year-old Christy Lagourney. Not only is it the first day of 5th grade, but she got to leave school early because she had her last dentist appointment before getting braces. At the doctor's appointment, she was giving laughing gas, so she felt tired and really groggy. So after the appointment, Christy's mom took Christy back to the house to take a nap while her mom went back to work. With all the excitement, Christy wasn't able to fall asleep, so she grabbed her 2-year-old miniature schnauzer, Chewy, and took off to the local 7-Eleven, which she was typically permitted to do and had done 100 times before. It was a super quick trip. Christy grabbed a Snickers bar and started heading home when, all of a sudden, she was approached by a woman in the parking lot. This woman was very good looking. She appeared to be in her 20s. She had on very nice clothes and was in a brand new car. And the woman was asking Christy if she had seen her dog. This woman had lost her dog. Christy hadn't seen the dog, though, and heads home. But as luck would have it, as soon as she turns the corner, there is a dog in the back of the 7-Eleven. So Christy runs back to the front and tells the lady, "I found your dog, I found your dog." The woman takes a look and says, "Oh, that's not our dog. But as a token of my appreciation, I want to give you a $100 bill so you can buy all the candy you want because we're so thankful that you were trying to help us find this dog." The woman tells Christy, "Let me give you a ride home, and when we get to your house, I'll give you this money." Christy said she felt a little bit uncomfortable, but the woman assured her that the woman knew Christy's father and that he was okay with this. You know, it's 1979. It wasn't 2024, and we didn't think about things then the way we do now. So Christy gets in the car thinking she's headed to her house to collect this $100 bill. Christy had been so focused on finding this woman's dog, it's for the first time that she realizes there's a man with this woman accompanying her. So Christy gets in the car and very quickly feels that this isn't right. And her suspicion is confirmed when they start going in the total opposite direction of her house. As any normal child would, she starts crying. And the man at this point turns around and screams at her to shut up and put her head down. Eventually, Christy falls asleep. Christy didn't realize it at the time, but when she woke up, they were 100 miles away from Flower Bluff. They were now in Victoria, Texas. They pulled into Sonic to get some food and then went just next door to this seedy, disgusting little motel called the Royal Inn. The man left Christy and the woman in the car and went to the lobby to get the keys. Once they got into the room, they ate their dinner, and then the man instructed Christy to take a shower. Once out of the shower, they instructed Christy to put on this oversized t-shirt and sit on the bed. They then tied her ankles and arms to the bedpost, blindfolded, bound, and gagged her, and assaulted her in every possible way they could. The last thing Christy remembers before passing out from trauma was the sound of a Polaroid picture snapping. They were taking her picture. After the assault, they put Christy back in the vehicle, and that's where she regains consciousness. And she said the first thing she heard was them talking about what to do with her. And the woman was pleading with the man not to kill her, just to let her live. And they were going back and forth about it. I guess there was a tiny bit of decency in these monsters' heart because the man agreed to not murder her. They soon pull into a 24-hour diner and tell her to get out. They say, "Your dad is on his way to get you. Just wait here on the curb," which Christy did for a long time until she eventually realized that it was probably a lie and her dad wasn't coming to get her. So she mustered up her courage and went inside to ask if she could make a phone call. Christy dialed her home number and was surprised to hear a voice she didn't recognize on the other end. It was the FBI. At this point, Christy's family had been looking frantically for her and, of course, had called 911. Christy didn't realize she was 100 miles away, so when she told the FBI agent where she was, they assumed she was at that franchise restaurant near their home in Flower Bluff. They didn't realize she was in Victoria, Texas at that point. After speaking with an employee at the restaurant in Victoria, they realized where Christy was, and police and EMS showed up right away to take her to the hospital. Christy spent weeks in the ICU. Doctors told her parents that she had almost bled out. These two monsters had torn her completely apart. Doctors warned her parents that she would never be able to carry children. They had just destroyed her. For a full year, Christy looked through lineup after lineup and answered question after question, and the police could not locate these two people that had done this to her. Until 5 years later, when Christy's parents get a surprise phone call from the detective working the case. Christy's female kidnapper and rapist had apparently found religion and turned herself in. She admitted to everything that she and this psychotic man had done to little Christy. So this is where we think, oh, amazing, they arrested them both and they're both serving a life sentence, right? Wrong. Apparently, in 1979, there was a statute of limitations on rape. Too much time had passed. And despite fully admitting to what she had done and giving the name of the male perpetrator, neither one did a single second in jail. Thankfully, the laws in Texas have changed today. Today, this would never happen, but there was absolutely zero justice for this little girl. I would love to tell you that this is where this family's trauma stopped and they healed from here, but I can't. 3 years later, Christy's brother Stan was murdered. I am able to share some good news, which is that despite what doctors had said back when this happened in 1979, Christy was able to give birth to 2 beautiful baby boys. Unfortunately, right before his 11th birthday, her youngest son passed away from cancer. I asked Christy if she had any advice for families to prevent something like this happening in the future, and she said that families should have a code word. So mom and dad and the kids know this code word, and the kids know that they should never ever accept a ride from anybody who doesn't know that code word. I also asked Christy if she had anything to share with the folks listening to this, and she said this: I never said why me or us again. I just figured I'm here for a reason. The times you struggle are the times that teach you the most. Those are the times that will bring you closer to your family and friends.